Hi everyone, welcome to this training video. This is the second part of our Trello project management tool training. As promised in our first training video regarding Trello, we will be discussing Trello's additional features, power-ups, and automation. I hope you're all ready, so let's get started. So power-ups and automation are Trello's additional features that would help users use Trello to meet their unique needs, making work faster, easier, and more consistent. By integrating and automating workflows, we can reduce the need for manual work and repetitive tasks. As a result, processes become more efficient and workers spend more of their time on value-adding activities. Now, let me tell you what are the three ways to add Trello power ups and automation on your board. Okay, so here's the Trello board that I created. The first way to add power ups and automation is through the board heading. Here, you'll find power ups and automation. The second way is through the board menu. From the three dots here, you'll access the menu and find automation and power-ups. Lastly is inside the card itself. Just open a card, then scroll down a bit, you'll find power-ups and automation. Our next goal is to add power-ups on this board. So let's go ahead and click power-ups and then add power-ups. So you'll be directed to this page. So here are the featured power-ups by Trello. Then we have the enabled power-ups. Currently, no power-ups are enabled for this board. Then we have made by Trello. Here are some categories you can choose from. Okay. Now what we want to do is add export and sync Trello to Google Sheets power-ups. Let's go back to our featured tab and just scroll down, and there you go. We have export and sync. Just click on add. Okay, so it says here export and sync. Trello to Google Sheets is not developed or maintained by Trello. Trello is not responsible for its operation and security. And if you want to read Trello's data and privacy practices, just click here and then make sure you read all of this information. And then we'll hit add. And here are the things we can do with export and sync. We can quickly export our board directly to Google Sheets so you can make reports and analyze project data. We can even get live updates to exported data whenever cards are added or changed, and share an up-to-date picture of progress without copy-paste or CSVs. Now you'll see an additional button here beside Power Ups. We have our export and sync. We'll have to click on that and authorize Unito account. So let's click authorize. And then it'll give you another window, which is this one. Would you like to give the following application access to your account? So here, if you want to switch account, just click here and make sure that you read every information written here. And if you agree, just hit allow. And here, Trello is successfully connected. Let's click got it. And let's close this. Now let's click export and sync button again. And here we'll see open, export, and sync. Let's click that. All right, so here, just scroll down and click get started. Okay. So here, this is my Trello account. And this is the board name that I'd like to export. And then let's choose a Google Sheets account. Okay, it says that a new Google Sheet will be created in your Google Drive under this account. Let's click continue. Exporting your Trello board. Let's just wait a few. So it says your export is almost ready. Before launching Google Sheets, we have to install the Unito add-on. Let's click install. So as you can see, it's routing us to a different page, which is under Google Workspace Marketplace. Okay, just hit install and then continue. I'm choosing my Google account. Okay, and just hit allow. Okay, it says Unito automatic data has been installed. Let's go click next and we'll just set up later. Let's click done. And now we're back to our Trello page. Let's hit go to your sheet. So here it says we have to activate the Unito add-on. We need to go to extensions, which is here, and then Unito for Google Sheets. There you go. And get started with Unito. Alright, Unito add-on is installed. Now let's complete your export. Ta-da! We're all set. Let's just close this. Okay. So as you can see, it's updating. It's getting all the information of my board. There you go. As stated earlier, this Google Sheet is synchronized to our board, which means that if there are any changes made on our board, it will reflect here. And I just want to show you guys where you can access this Google Sheet. So just go to your Google Drive and then look for this one. It'll be named under as the name of your board. Our board is name moved and it says Google Sheet Rows, right? Let's try another power up. Let's go to the Google Mail power up. From the power ups page, you may want to scroll and look for Gmail, or let's utilize this search bar and type Gmail. And here, just hit configure. Again, it routed us to the Google Workspace Marketplace where we need to install Trello for Gmail. So let's do that. Again, continue. Same as earlier, you have to choose your Gmail account and give access to it as well. And then it says Trello for Gmail has been installed. Just hit done. When you open your Gmail, you will find this new feature on your sidebar, and it says Trello was installed. Open the sidebar to use Trello in Gmail. Let's click Got it. And let's click on that icon. And then it says Get started by opening an email or conversation. So let's try this. I'm click I click that, and oops, sorry, we have to log in with Trello first. Okay, I'm giving access, so let's click allow. Okay, confirm. So once login, you will be able to easily add a card. So you'll find your board here. You can even choose to what board you'd like to add that card to. Just use move, and under what list, let's say just under the to-do list. You can edit the name of the card, but for now I'll leave it. And then the description. Okay. And here you can add a due date. Let's say this is due on April 30th, and the time would be 8 a.m. See this add button here? Just click that. And this power up is very convenient and easy to utilize. Now it says you're on it. Your card has been added to Trello. You can either view on Trello or add another card. So since Trello is already here on the other tab, just click on that. Let me close this. And we'll find it here. This is the card that we created through our Gmail account. Let's try another power up. So this time, let us integrate our board to our Google Drive. So again, let's go to our power ups page. Oops, sorry about that. Power ups, and then add power ups. Okay, and let's search for G Drive. Bummer. Sorry, no search results for G Drive. Should be Google Drive. And let's hit add. See, there's an additional button here, which is Google Drive. Let's click that and link Google Drive account. Same thing, we have to choose which Google account we want to use and give access to it. Okay, now it says under Google Drive, create slides presentation. Let's click that. Okay, it says open presentation. And there you go. Our presentation is now here. So these are the cards that we have. Yeah, just one click and you'd be able to make this presentation. See, it's very easy. Now let us move on and learn about Trello automation. So Trello has a built-in automation system that makes it easy for everyone to automate just about any action in Trello. With automation, you can create rules that instantly run a set of actions when triggered by a defined action, buttons that run action on a card or across an entire board in a single click. due date commands that run in relation to approaching or past due dates, and calendar commands that run at set calendar intervals. Trello Automation's simple native language system requires no coding, and automations can be set up in seconds. Let's talk about rules. Rules automatically execute actions on your board in response to changes, rules triggers that happen in Trello. To create a rule, you need to configure a trigger and action for your automation. Are you ready to rule your board? Let's do this. Let's hit automation and click rules. Okay, see, we have automation here. We have tips, rules, card button, board button, scheduled, and due date. Let's focus on rules. Okay, so on our upper right, let's click create rule and then here add trigger. Here you'll see the different kinds of trigger that we can use. We have card move, card changes, dates, checklist, card content, fields, and advance. So the rule I want to do is when a checklist is added to a card by anyone, I want the card to move to the top of the list. So it's about the checklist. So let's click checklist here. The trigger will be when checklist is added by anyone. So when checklist is added, let's try this. So we should put the name of the checklist here. So checklist is the name of my checklist, and I said is added onto a card by anyone. But here you can change it to your preference. It can be by me, by anyone, or by anyone except me. But the trigger I want is by anyone. Again, the trigger is when checklist and then the checklist name is added to a card by anyone. Let's add that. And then your automation doesn't perform any actions yet. Add some actions from below. So we have different kinds of action. We have move, add, remove, dates, checklist, members, content fields, sort, cascade. Then we can even link it to Jira, Bitbucket, or Slack. And I mentioned earlier that when a checklist is added to a card by anyone, I want the card to be moved to the top of the list. And this is the action that we need. Move the card to the top of the list. Or change it to your preference here. And then hit on this plus icon. Okay. And there it is. Again, we have trigger when checklist name is added to a card by anyone. And so move the card to the top of the list. Let's save this for now. Okay, you can see it here and it is enabled on this board. Let's close this automation page. Now let's try to add a checklist onto a card. So let's use this card. As you can see, it's the third on the doing list. We have card 1, create birthday invitation, and create a slide presentation. I want to use this and put checklist onto it. Let's click checklist. And you can even copy checklist from other cards here. For now, I want to use a different checklist, so let's click add. Okay, the first item would be use Canva. Use the move slide. template, and add animations. Okay. So, because we've added a checklist on this card, which was originally the third on the list, it should move on top of our doing list. Let's see. Let's close this. And there you go. It's now on top of our list. Very easy, right? Let's create another rule. Let's go to rules, create rule, and then add trigger. This time the rule is when due date is marked as complete in a card by anyone, add the done label to the card. So trigger when due date, let's click on dates. When due date is marked as complete in a card by anyone. So let's change this and add it. When due date is marked as complete in a card by anyone. Yeah, that's the trigger that we need. The action should be add the done label to the card. So action is add. Let's scroll down. Here, add the, I said the done label, which is the green one. Okay, add the green done label to the card. Yeah, that's it. Let's add it. And it should be here. Okay, so this rule is again when due date is marked as complete in a card by anyone, the action will be add the green done label to the card. Let's save it. We have to make sure that this is tick enabled on this board so that the automation would run on our board. Okay, let's close this out and let's try this card. And let's say the due date is marked as complete, right? And it should have the done label onto the card. Oh, there you go. See, it's already here. So that's the green label, which is noted as done. Perfect. But what if I want to add a few more actions to that same trigger? Let me show you how. So let's go back to our automations page. And these are the rules that are already in place, right? And here we have some icons. We have the edit icon, copy, remove, automation log, or add it to another board. But I mentioned that I just want to add a few more actions, so let's click edit. So aside from having the green done label to the card, I want the card to be on top of the list. Okay, so let's scroll down and it says move the card to the top of the list. This is the one that we need. Let's add it. See, we have the second action here. And then I also want to be notified once the due date is marked complete. To do that, let's click members and I want to join the card. Let's add it. And here you'll see you have one trigger and 3 actions. Let's save it. Okay, and let's close this out. Okay, let's try that rule and edit this card here. So we're marking the due date complete, right? And the first action is that the done label is already here. And then the third action we put is I was already added now on this card, and it should move to the top of the list, right? And there you go. You can see your card 3 here. So let's move to the next automation that we have, which are buttons. We have two types of buttons. First is the card button. Second is the board button. So card buttons are accessible at the card and allow you to create a series of card level actions such as adding a label to a card or joining a card. And a card button is triggered when you click the button, while board buttons are accessible at the top of your Trello board and allow you to perform a series of board level actions such as sorting lists, moving cards around, or creating reports. From our automation page, let's click card button and then create a custom button. Okay, so here we can set an icon. We can choose an icon from here. For example, let's use this. And the title of my button is Join Me. You have your options here, enabled by default or close the card when action is performed. So we have a title. Let's add action. So the button I want to put is Join Card. So let's click on Members. Here is Join the Card, right? Let's add that and save it. And let's add another one. Let's select an icon. Let's try this. And then archive the card. Okay, and then add action. Archive is under move, and here it is. Archive the card. Let's add it and save. So we have two card buttons. Let's close this page. And it says that card buttons can be found inside the card, right? So let's click this one. And we'll find our automation buttons here. Let's click Join Me. Since this card doesn't have any members, let's click Join Me. We have a notification that it is successful and I'm already here. And let's try archive the card. Ready? Okay. Success. And it'll say that this card is archived. Okay, let's check. This is card 1, right? And we can no longer see card 1 on any of our lists. Perfect. Now let's do the buttons, the board buttons, I mean. Let's go here, then create custom button. Okay, let's select an icon. Let's try this robot. And the button name would be overdue. Okay. And my action would be move overdue cards to the top of the urgent list. All right, so we will be using this action, move each card. Then there are a few more actions we can take from here. It should be overdue. So with a overdue with an overdue due date. That's the one we need. And if we need to add a few more, yeah, just select that here. So move each card with an overdue due date to list, and I want it to the top of the list of the urgent list. Okay, let's just check this. Yeah, you have this options too if you want to add them. Okay, that's it. And let's hit save. Okay, that's the name of our board button. We have edit, copy, remove, automation log, and then enabled on this board, on all boards on this workspace, shared with workspace. Okay, let's close that. And let's check which are the overdue cards. I believe we have this dates in red, 26, 25, 26. So if we selected the correct action on our board button, all of the overdue cards will be moved to the urgent list. Let me just show you our urgent list. Here it is, right? And here is our board button name overdue. Ready? Okay, let's click that. You'll see that it's running here. Okay, and it's done. Let's close and let's check our urgent list. Okay, there you go. Yeah, we have the 3 overdue cards here. Perfect. Another automation that we have is the scheduled automations. So this perform actions at a given trigger such as every day at a specific time or every week on a particular day. Scheduled automations have the same set of actions as board buttons but run automatically on your behalf. So here, let me show you. Let's create a scheduled automation. Let's add a trigger. So let's say you need a report every day at around 6 o'clock p.m. Just add it, and then under actions, go to other. The first one says create a report in variable name. The report name would be, let's say, EOD or end of day. Let's say with all cards assigned to me. Okay, let me just check this. No, I don't need to use a pattern. And no, I don't want to group it. So I'll add that. Okay, it'll create a report with all cards assigned to me and send an email notification if you want it to every member of on the board or to just you specifically. For example, just want to send it to myself. Okay, send an email notification to my email with subject EOD and let's say today's EOD report. Okay, and yeah, it says you can enter multiple email addresses separated by semicolons. And I want to add that. Okay, so this is my trigger and these are my actions. Let me save that. So this automation will run every day at 6 p.m. It'll create a report um, named EOD with all cards assigned to me, and it'll send me an email to my email address with subject EOD, and the message will be this one. You can run it now, edit, copy, remove, and check automation log, or add it to another board. And I also would like to show you this part here. When you click automation, right, we have email reports. We have options like a board snapshot, a weekly snapshot of the board. We have due soon, all cards that are due within the next 7 days, overdue cards, and my cards, all cards you were added to. Let's try on the board snapshot. Okay. Okay, here it says this email report includes all lists and cards on this board. And you can schedule it, for example, yeah, let's say every Friday at 6 p.m., right? You can put in the recipients here, then the subject you can edit as well as the message. And let's send a test email first. And by the way, you can preview it here, right? Actually, that's how the email will look. But let us send an email. And here is the email that I receive. Again, this is the subject and this is the content. It has all the information, the list and cards of our board, right? And let's go back. If you're sure about that or we're good with the email preview, you can do schedule report. Okay, so you have that report set up. Updates will be delivered every Friday at 6 p.m. to this person. You can view and edit email reports here. Let's go back to email reports. And how about we'll do my cards? Okay. Okay, it says this email report includes all of your assigned cards from this board. For example, let's do this every Monday at 8 a.m. Here's my email, the subject, my cards, and then the board name. And let's send an email test. Here's the email that I received. It says my cards and then the board name. And yep, there you go. So those are all the cards assigned to me. Let's go back and you can do schedule report here. If you need to make any changes, just go to view and edit email reports, right? And you're gonna find it here. Okay, the last automation that we have is the due date command. Due date automations trigger actions in response to the due dates you have on the cards on your board. A due date automation is triggered on a card when a card's due date matches the automation's trigger. This automation has the same set of actions as a card button, but runs automatically on your behalf. Let me show you how to set that up. Again, under our automation page, click on due date and then create automation. And then here, add trigger. So let's read this. Due date triggers are not retroactive. For example, if you enter an automation that says 2 days before a card is due, this will not trigger the cards that are already due in 2 days or less. It will trigger the moment a card becomes due in 2 days through the passage of time, starting from the moment the automation is entered. Okay, so here are our options or triggers. We have the moment the card is due or on the day, 2 days before, on Monday before the card is due. Let's say on the day a card is due, you can set a time here, but I want to add that. Okay, that's my trigger. And one of the actions I want to put is the urgent label. So let's add the urgent label on the card. Let's add that. We should find it here. Okay, perfect. And then let's go to members. For example, remove all the members from the card. Okay, we're adding that here. Okay. Lastly, I want that to be moved to move the card to the top of the list of the urgent list. Okay, so this is the trigger and we have 3 actions and then hit save. There you go. And it's already enabled. And then we have the edit, copy, remove, automation log, and the option to add this automation to another board. So again, this automation will run automatically once the trigger has been satisfied and you do not have to do or click anything. Well, that's it. I hope you learn how to add power-ups and automation on a Trello board. Till next time and happy learning, everyone. Bye.